Today is a big day. This is the last workout in the original Buff Dudes home gym. We have really exciting news. We're finally upgrading, got a place with the shop that we're converting into Buff Dudes Gym 2.0, and we're gonna get one final workout in this home gym before bidding it farewell forever. And you know, I've gotta admit, this is at our parents' place in their basement, and I've just got a feeling they're probably pretty sad to see us go.
Starting off with front squats. Haven't done front squats in a while, gotta admit. So there's a few things I try to go over in my head to remember the proper form. And if you have never performed front squats before, well, you wanna keep these things in mind too. Is one, you wanna keep the bar right at the nape of the neck here. So if you wanna just kind of put your arms out in front of you, walk forward, it's gonna be right in that position here. And might feel uncomfortable because the bar is gonna be right against your neck there. There's two ways you can do it. Either this right here, the cross kind of grip, which is a lot easier, I think, for most people. Because the other one's gonna be a clean position, which is gonna be kind of taking the bar and having your hands in the clean position there. So you're gonna have a little bit more wrist mobility to be able to comfortably have in this position. But for me, I kind of like it because it really forces the bar against the nape and neck there, so it keeps that kind of positioning. So once you unrack it, you wanna keep in mind we're gonna have a nice wide stance, feet in a comfortable outward position. And when you squat, you're not pushing your hips back. You're really pretty much just going right down. Just imagine your legs are the trees and your hips are the hammock, and it's just gonna go right between those legs there, and you're gonna keep those elbows up, just like so. So you're gonna keep a nice vertical torso. Keeping those things in mind is really gonna help you out. Of course, you wanna keep the weight light, so that way you can get the proper positioning. But yeah, that felt pretty good, especially for having front squats absent in my particular program for a long time, but they can feel like a good exercise if you remember these things and keep these in mind. Really hitting those quads hard. So, oh yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
As you can see, I'm not quite ready for the front squats yet. A little bit more of an advanced exercise, but I am doing the goblet squats, which is great for beginners and intermediate alike. I'm excited because today is the first day I'm not using a box as a little bit of a training wheel in a way. I'm confident enough where I can perform the squat on my own, doing goblet squats, pretty light, 75 pounds. I'm gonna go up to a 100-pound kettlebell for my 5x5, and I'll call it good there. I'll begin to progress, that's the goal, but today I'm gonna keep it 100 and be satisfied with the fact that I am able to do a squat below parallel unassisted. Hell yeah. Back in the Buff Dudes kitchen, the new Buff Dudes kitchen, by the way, because me and my wife have recently moved, so pardon the mess, we still have a little renovation to go, but in the meantime, we had to make a recipe. So this week, we're gonna be making biscuits and gravy, Buff Dudes style. So it's a little bit more protein, moderate in the carbs and fat, and it's definitely delicious. So let's get started first with the biscuits. Yeah. So for the biscuits, to begin this recipe, what we're gonna wanna do is preheat our oven to 375 degrees and go ahead and grab a nice baking pan with some parchment paper on top. That's just so the biscuits don't stick, or stink, I don't know, either one. Parchment paper, yeah. So what we're gonna wanna do is take our dry ingredients first That's gonna be a 1/4 cup of pea protein. I'm using unflavored pea protein. You can feel free to use a whey protein if you'd like. I'd recommend vanilla because it gives the biscuits just a little bit of sweetness, which is nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that. I'm gonna be doing a 1/2 cup of coconut flour, and finally 1 teaspoon of baking powder. It's easy to kind of forget these things when you're right in the middle of it. So take the dry ingredients and you're wanting to mix them all together really nice and well like that. Yeah. I'd say that's pretty good mix. So once you're finished with that, go ahead and take 2 eggs, crack them, and then you're gonna go ahead and take your 1/2 cup of unsweetened almond milk. That's what I use. You can feel free, again, to use milk. I just prefer the unsweetened almond milk. And again, if you have the vanilla flavor, it gives it just a little bit more sweetness. I'm gonna do a little bit of salt with this super fancy high-tech salt. So that's enough salt. It was a 1/2 teaspoon is what we wanted. I probably got about that much. So we're gonna go ahead and stir again. Biscuits are mixed up. Now let's go ahead and take our pan with the parchment paper, the biscuits, and form these bad boys. Biscuits are formed. I'm gonna put it into our oven now, 375 degrees. We're gonna keep it in there for 19 minutes. See you then. Let's go ahead and get the recipe started. What we're gonna wanna do is take the mushrooms, the parsley, and the onions. And finally, a 1/4 cup of the broth, and you're just gonna pour that over. And what we're gonna wanna go ahead and do is saute those. So go ahead and mix it and wait until the vegetables get nice and tender, and then you're good to go. As those ingredients are sauteing, go ahead and take another 1/2 cup of the broth, put it in a separate bowl with the arrowroot or cornstarch. Go ahead and put that in. Little pinch of the pepper. That's about right. And then go ahead and stir until that's all smooth. Yeah. Okay, so we have that nice and mixed up, all good to go. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is pour it in with the rest that was sauteing, and also with the rest of the broth, which is gonna be 1 3/4 cup. Nice. All the ingredients are together, so what we're gonna wanna go ahead and do now is bring it to a boil for 2 minutes and go ahead and stir for that 2-minute duration. 19 minutes are up. Now it's time to check on the biscuits. Oh, and here comes our resident food critic. I hope these are up to his very lofty standards. I think it's a hit. Biscuits and gravy are a success, and now it's time to eat. So I've got my portion, Buff Baby's got his. Oh yeah. There it is, the final workout in the original Buff Dude's home gym.
Kinda feel a little sad. We're gonna leave this thing behind.
A lot of good videos, a lot of content. Hope you've enjoyed it, but the great thing is, this end has a new beginning.
We're moving on to bigger and better things. Or should I say bigger and buffer things?
Yeah, that's true. But the gym's gonna be bigger, so it's gonna make us look a little smaller, so we got some working out to do.
Yeah, we'll just make sure the lighting's good.
It's all about the lighting and angles, baby. Yeah. So we'll see you next time for the building of the new Buff Dude's gym. Yeah.